What is your American dream?
My American dream is to have all the people in this country unite under the fact no racism, no discrimination, no people that make billions when other people are suffering.
For that people to have honest conversations, to care about each other, and to have equal rights.
My American dream is an America where we fully engage the ideals of freedom, liberty, and justice for all people, not based on the color of your skin tone, your access to money and resources, your ability to pay your way through a legal system or a litigious process to obtain something like health care.
I hope America will be one day like Martin Luther King fights so hard for equality. We are all the same. We are all the same. There's no race, there is no nationality, nothing. We are created by God and we are all the same, and that's what we have to be in this country.
My American dream is that this truly does become a place where we can all coexist and have liberty and justice for all.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! I see into the future. My lucky number is 4. Why does my crystal ball have a 4 in it? Because I tell fortunes and I see into the future. I'm a very precocious groundhog. It's looking pretty good. Oh, I can't believe that's gonna happen. Oh! Hello, everybody! Fortune teller Groundhog Sam here. Brad and Kim and Yonathan keep talking about how they need a magic 8-ball for the show, but they don't know something about me. When I have my magic crystal ball / snow globe here, I can see into the future. So they don't need to get a magic 8-ball. They just need to ask Groundhog Fortune teller Sam. Do you want to know what Groundhog Sam predicts for the future? Well, of course you do. Here we go. So here's Groundhog Sam predictions for the future. Brad's going to answer a lot of immigration questions today.
I don't want him to be deported.
Certainly you can leave the marriage and be able to get a green card. If he's under 18, he'll be a citizen when his mom naturalizes. We would make a motion to reopen. We can help.
Hey! Kim's going to laugh really hard at something that Brad says.
I've been to the hospital twice with the beach 0.
I tried, damn it! I swear to God, I tried!
Jonathan's going to wear something really, really stylish on the show.
Bling, bling, every time I come around this city, bling, bling. Dynamite!
Me, I'm just going to be eating pretzels. Oh, I love pretzels so much. Time for me to eat my pretzel now. What else is in the future? Brad Show Live is going to be on the air for years and years to come. Anyway, did you miss yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, Belgium Kim went to visit Swarli Karulkar, who danced her way into stardom in India and was on India's biggest dance competition show, Dance India Dance. And she also choreographed for Bollywood films. She moved to America 5 years ago and founded Bolly Heels and Bolly Pop here in New York City. Belgium Kim went to visit Swarli and learn all about her immigration story and what Bolly Heels is. It looked like a lot of fun. I'm gonna go next time. Kim really had the moves. So now, as I predict the future, it's time for Brad Show Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-host Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. And now I have one more prediction for the future. You're gonna enjoy today's show. It's also Hump Day, so strap your seatbelts on and get ready. Ooh, I see the future, and the future's looking bright. Ha 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 ha.
Alrighty then, it's Hump Day, February 6th. My name is Brad Bernstein. This is Brad Show Live. I'm joined, as always, or most of the time always, by Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. But for some reason, they always seem to show up for Hump Day.
Always.
I don't remember a time you don't show up for Hump Day, right?
I don't think I've not been here for Hump Day.
You're like Brad. I'm going to take a day off, but it's not going to be Hump Day.
It's not going to be Hump Day.
It's not going to be
my
Hump
favorite
Day.
day
Last
of the
week was my very first and only time ever missing
Oh
Hump Day. I missed
yeah,
last week.
we had a
That's right.
fellas Hump
Yeah.
Day.
We did have
I
a
know.
fellas Hump. I do remember that, and now that it's come to my attention, it was extraordinarily uncomfortable.
But I think it went
Jonathan
pretty
and I
well.
were talking, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
About
boy,
cock rings.
About
right.
I was gonna say nicer penis rings.
Yeah.
But it was really uncomfortable. We needed a woman here to kind of, soften the discussion a little bit, so to speak.
Well, then
It's
you
not
don't need the
supposed to
cock
be
ring.
soft during
Yeah,
Hump
I was
Day.
just, yeah, there's nothing I can add about
Well,
a
I
penis
didn't want to
ring
say
of any
hard in the
kind.
conversation, so. Meanwhile, we seem to have a lot of people joining us
Yes.
right from the beginning. They all know it's Hump Day. Hello, Lavone. Is it Lavon or Lavone?
Levon.
Lavon, D. Tucker, Mia Montauk, and Zen Supermom Gooden says, Sup, squad?
That's right.
Sup, quad?
We know what she means.
Sup, quad?
You know what she means.
Yes, my quad's a little tight. That's what's going on with my quad right now. It's a little tight, needs to be stretched out. Squad's doing great, though. Monica Laws, Mia Montauk, Tamika Nelson, First Lady Leah Just Kalimi, what's going on? Lisa Bling Rose says, I'm here, Tamika Hunt. They're having a love affair, by the way, Tamika and Lisa Bling Rose. A virtual love
you
affair.
gonna call
going
them
on.
out on
I'm
that?
calling them out. Virtual love affair for the two of them right now. Ramona Hazel. Chanel Nas says, hey, peeps. And Brenda Norton says, good afternoon. And, of course, Bradshaw Live replying to Willie saying, howdy, Willie.
Howdy, Willie.
Who's manning Bradshaw Live? Is that Groundhog Sam?
It is Groundhog Sam.
How does he know how to spell?
Just two little fingers, Brad, and he just goes at it. It takes him forever. That's
Got
why
it.
there's not that many comments.
Yeah, he doesn't really comment a lot. Now I
Not
know
at
why.
all. No,
All right.
Jenny from the cubicle has to stand us beside him and be like, okay, now a C.
It's an H. It's an O.
Yeah.
Rich Kid C and Abigail Taylor Watson, Dawn Harriet popping in there. And who else do I see? Dolly Supermom, Patrona Collins, and Olaran Ra. Olaran. You know Olaran.
We love us some Olaran.
Yes,
He's a spread sweater.
Olaran's coming in right with a question on Hump Day.
Yeah.
But it's not a Hump Day question, it's just a straight immigration question.
Could you imagine if we only answered Hump Day
That
questions
would be
on
great.
Hump Day?
That would be great
I don't
if
remember. I'm not
never
sure
gotten
that
any.
anybody has ever asked a Hump Day
like
question.
for example, last week I was expecting, hey Brad, hey Yo-Yo, I have this cock ring, but I don't know how to put it on.
Sorry, we cannot
we
help
wouldn't
you
be
with
able
that.
to answer that. We can answer immigration.
We need Kim here for
maybe the
that.
more I think
Why
about
would I
it,
be able to help?
the more I think about it, we should stick to immigration.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
All right, Molly and Logan Martin, how are you? Cordell and Douglas, Carol Anderson the Tiger, saying hello, Deion Watson, Dane C, welcome. And I said Molly and Logan Martin, right? CC
Yes.
Mitchell, I see. Lamont Yord. Is it Lamont Yord or Yod? Up checking, he says.
Up checking.
I don't
I don't
know what up checking means. I know what up means. I guess he's checking it out. Is that what kind of like? I mean, do we have to like decipher what everybody's saying?
Brad, it's your show. It's really you that decides if we have to do anything.
All true, Kim. All true.
Thanks.
Kitty Doll, how are you? Christine Bennett, Lolita Platt. We should have Millennial Deciphering Day one day.
We do Millennialism 101 every once in a while.
Yeah, and we failed miserably with that test.
Did we?
That test that Brad was
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. The millennial slang terms.
didn't know not one of them.
We did. On YouTube, Lisa Montauk, Back It Up Ricky, Marcine Frazier, Lucianne Girl, Carol the Top Tigress 2, Anderson Afzaleh, always has something good to say. Let's see what he has to say today. He says, squad up Brad into the best YouTube trio I always know he has something good to say. Afzaleh.
He always
I didn't even
does.
have to read it. Squad
definitely
up,
does.
Brad, into the best YouTube trio has to offer. Happy Hump Day. Let's bring the joy and laughter to the squad. I'm all for that. Bevan Smith, how are you? Princess Black, Asthma, Elkenfoss.
Ooh, that's right.
Right?
That's right.
He says, hi, great job, Brad, and all the members of this wonderful show. You can take all the important news from Brad, and you don't need to watch TV anymore.
Wow.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Wow, I am an immigration guru and Dan Rather at the same time.
And a doctor, professor, and
marriage counselor. Yulette Wilson, how are you? If I could only counsel myself, I would be in good shape. Danny Contreras, Ashley Thomas. Who's Kimberly Moore?
I don't know who she is, but she sounds delightful, and I'd really like to get to know her.
And Andy and Zika with an immigration question. Make sure we're going to answer that because he asked it right away. Zone Powell, Isha Germs. Ew. Ew. It's got it's almost Isha Germs.
That's a terrible reaction to any human's name.
Isha Germs? Esha Germs?
That looks like a real first and last name.
Is it?
I don't know. It definitely looks like it.
Okay, then I like her. I'm just germphobic, that's all. I like her. She actually looks very pretty in her pictures.
She does.
She looks really pretty.
Real attractive.
Yeah, she's like, and she's probably saying, oh yeah, like Bernstein's a good name?
Yeah,
come on.
she's like,
come on, I'd rather have germs all day long over Bernstein, right? Princess Black, Lady Leah, Fred O.C., Ruthie Cutie, Audrey Miller, and Keisha Charles all saying hello.
Yeah. Princess Black knows what time it is.
What time is it?
It's eggplant emoji time.
It's eggplant emoji time.
She has just all the eggplant emojis.
Is that what she's putting in there?
Do you know what the eggplant emoji means?
Yeah, it's the penis emoji.
Okay,
yeah, he knew. Do you know all of the body part emojis?
What about the peach? I'm surprised she's not giving eggplant a peaches.
I know. Nice. Brad.
Yes.
Do you ever use the finger emoji? I'll stop.
Wait, what?
That's the other body part emoji. We'll
the
stop.
Finger?
Yeah, that's if you want to give it like a proctology exam, I guess.
Exactly.
Is that what it would be?
Exactly.
Which finger one?
You do this one that like points, and then the A-OK finger.
Gotcha.
There it is.
I didn't know that, but I,
you've never else.
Exactly why we needed you here when we were talking about the cock
Exactly. Meanwhile, before we get into our schmooze, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, and Belgium Kim, tell everybody to please share and tell their friends to share and tell their friends' friends to share. And the reason is this. We want to help as many people as we can. We want to get as many immigration questions as we can. We will be getting to everybody's immigration questions. And please let your friends know, hey, you can get some really good free immigration advice, have some fun watching the show, and meet some cool people all at the same time. It's a win-win-win.
Yes,
absolutely,
it is.
And Belgium Kim and Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, while I'm getting ready here for Hump Day.
Yeah.
I got to go stretch my quad a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell them how to share.
All right, guys. So, like Brad said, in order for you to get the best show possible, you'll have to share. You share because you need people to call in. You want to hear their stories. And also, let's build up on the squad, man. We like to build up and shed love and light to the Brad Squad. And Kim, let us know how we're going to share.
You guys, it's so easy. We're going to hit that share button on the top or bottom of your screen, and you're going to share it to your page, your friend's page, groups that you're a member of. You're going to share it everywhere, Facebook, because you want people to know about this amazing resource. And on YouTube, you're going to copy the link, and you're going to send it to all of your WhatsApp people, and all of your text message people, and all of your smoke signal people. However you want to do it, send it to them and let them know where they can watch the show right now.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, just because I'm getting called out.
Yeah.
Hello, Asset Lindo. How are you, my dear lovely woman?
Yeah.
I know you were present the entire time. We all love you. We all send our love, our kisses, our hugs, our strongest vibes, our strongest good vibes.
Yes.
And we're glad you are here and present.
Wow.
How's that?
You really made up for it.
Yeah, never an angry face again, Asset. Never an angry face again. And now we got to get into our schmooze. So yesterday the State of the Union went on around 9 o'clock last night.
It did.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't either.
It's actually the first time that 2 years in a row I don't watch the State of the Union.
Wow.
Same.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm boycotting this guy.
Yeah.
I have no interest in what he has to say.
No.
Although I'm interested in what he has to say after the fact. I read about it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I can't watch him.
Yeah.
I can't watch him talk. I can't watch him lie to the public.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't watch him steal, because that's what he is doing. I really believe he is president, and a self-serving president, to self-serve his own financial interest and the interest of his family. I really believe it.
That's crazy.
And I can't watch it anymore. And he doesn't care about people.
Right.
And he doesn't care people are suffering. As long as people are lining their pockets, that's all he cares about. And it just
Sick.
makes me sick to my
Sick.
stomach. It really does.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really does. It was actually, I'm reading here on the card, the third longest State of the Union address ever in the history of the United States of America.
Wow.
This guy loves himself so much, he just had to keep talking and talking. I want you to know, Jilly Bean came in, she goes, I was so sick watching the State of the Union last night. She goes, did you watch it? And I said, no, why would I watch it?
100%.
It would just make me throw up.
Totally
Right.
agree.
It would make me throw up. But I did read after the fact what he had to say.
Yeah.
And that way, and it's easier if you don't hear his voice.
Right.
And you just read the words.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of feel that throw up in your throat.
Yeah, the
but
nausea.
it doesn't, the nausea, but it
Yeah.
doesn't really come out.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
when you hear the words and his voice at the same time and have to
actually
look at him.
have to look at him.
Yeah. Now, Trump, for example, he claimed credit for 2.4 million new jobs since the election. More than 500,000 of those jobs, unfortunately, according to credible news sources, created under Obama.
Of course.
Lie. He claimed that wages are finally going up, but they've been going up since the 1990s gradually every year.
Right.
Wages have always been going
Right.
up. He did not acknowledge that the Democrats took over the House of Representatives. Every president in the midterm has lost the House and acknowledged it, from Bill Clinton to George W. Bush to Barack Obama in 2011.
Yeah.
Trump did not acknowledge it.
Yep.
Instead, he barreled ahead with his agenda, which makes everyone throw up. Now, he said, and he fired this warning shot at the Democrats, that if anything is going to be done in Washington in the next 2 years, there has to be peace and legislation and not war and investigation. Basically saying that if Mueller's going to investigate me, I will not do anything to help anybody pass any laws, to help make the world better, to help make Americans better, to help make, more importantly, people better.
Right.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi took that as a threat, saying in a statement after the speech, he threatened the United States Congress not to exercise its constitutional responsibility of oversight. After the speech, he did say that he is going to meet with Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, in Vietnam, which is a neutral country, at the end of February. He claimed during his speech that if it was not for Donald Trump, we would be at war with North Korea at this moment. He did not mention anything about the shutdown. He did not mention anything about progress towards the shutdown. He did argue in favor of the wall.
Yes.
Of
The
course
wall.
he did.
He said, simply put, walls work. Walls save lives. But he did not seem to want to negotiate on the wall or border security. It's wall or F you, basically, he said. He did not mention anything about the federal workers who suffered and had to literally go sometimes to food lines or borrow money from friends and family.
Yep.
They didn't get paid for 2 consecutive checks. Didn't mention anything. He did mention something about the Diversity Immigrant Visa Program. The Diversity Immigrant Visa Program, they give out 50,000 green cards a year to diversify the people who come to America. Now, I personally would rather see those 50,000 green cards go to people who have been patiently waiting online for a very long time, rather than go to people who win on a lottery. But the way that he describes it, and I think a lot of people would like to see that, because the waiting times are really astronomically long. You hear that every day. But the way that he describes it is he describes it as a program that randomly hands out green cards without any regard to skill, merit, or safety of American people. He says countries are sending us their worst people in the diversity visa lottery.
Oh my
now,
God.
in order to win the reason for the diversity visa lottery is to diversify the people who come to America,
Right.
to make this truly a melting pot country.
Right.
So the concept is good. You want to get people from Africa, you want to get people from Asia, you want to get people from South America.
Right.
And there's 8 or 10 countries that are not involved in the visa lottery. And those 8 or 10 countries are the countries that have a majority of the people immigrating to the United States.
Of course.
So we don't want, for example, a country full of people from one country.
Right.
Okay, we don't want all the immigrants coming from China, although we love China.
Yeah.
We don't want all the immigrants coming from, say, Russia, but we love Russia. We don't want all the immigrants coming from South America or Africa. We want people coming from everywhere, from all walks of life, from all religions, from all nationalities, from all skin colors, which is why they do the visa lottery.
Absolutely.
It is not give us your worst people. People have to pass a background check.
Right.
People have to show that they have a skill.
Right.
You can't just be an unskilled worker and come here or have a high school degree. So to say that people have no merit who come here through the diversity visa lottery, I can show you in my own practice hundreds of people who came here in the diversity visa lottery and have made a tremendous success of themselves and are extraordinarily smart people.
Absolutely.
What else? He also seemed to make a big deal that he wants to help women now.
What?
Yeah.
I feel very cared for.
Yeah. One of the liveliest moments of the speech that I did not watch,
Right.
but apparently is on this card, was when Trump said that no one has benefited more from our thriving economy than women, who have filled 58% of the newly created jobs last year. It prompted Democratic women who were all wearing white in honor of women's suffrage, which is the ability of women to vote, to let out a huge cheer. After all, women were a major reason why Democrats took back the House of Representatives last year.
Yeah.
Now, the irony seemed to be lost on the president because he said, you weren't supposed to do that.
Right.
You weren't supposed to cheer me. And then he noted off the cuff that there are now more women serving in Congress than at any time before. But that's entirely because of Democratic women, not because of Republican women. Actually, the number of Republican women have gone down, not have gone up. Stacey Abrams, who lost the governor in a hotly contested recount of the governorship in Georgia. Now, truly, she did lose. There were more votes for her opponent than her. However, it was rigged against her.
Right.
And the reason it was rigged against her is because the Republicans who run the elections have done many bad things in Georgia to reduce the ability of people to go out and vote. And the ability of people to go out and vote, who are they reducing? Poor people, minorities, people with lower educations. And they are reducing people's abilities to go out and vote. They're making obstacles in their way, so they're actually not allowing every person who is eligible to vote to vote. And had they done so, Stacey Abrams and many people, including myself, feel she would be the governor.
Absolutely.
So Stacey Abrams, and she was the first black woman to ever deliver the rebuttal address to the president. She lost to, his name was Brian Kemp, but her entire rebuttal was about voter suppression and that every American should be given the same opportunity to go out and vote. Finally, Mr. Trump has called for bipartisanship, and Ms. Abrams said of that, compassionate treatment at the border is not the same as open borders. President Reagan understood this. President Obama understood this. Americans understand this, and Democrats stand ready to effectively secure our ports and borders. We know bipartisanship could craft a 21st century immigration plan, but this administration chooses to cage children, tear families apart, and they sow fear throughout the immigrant communities, build walls, literal walls between people instead of ripping walls down.
Absolutely.
And with that,
Yes.
Uh-oh. I got a problem here.
What's your problem, Brad?
I mixed all my cards up.
Oh, no.
I think I got this right now.
Wow.
It's time for Hump Day news.
It's Hump Day.
It's Hump Day.
It's Hump Day.
It's Hump Day.
It's still Hump Day.
It's Hump Day.
So the first Hump Day news, Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
Yeah.
Because it
Always
is
nervous.
Wednesday.
Always nervous.
And by the way, I have not seen any of these newses.
Believe it or not, I don't know like 40% of them.
Okay, I have not seen any of this. So as I discuss this news, Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, I'm reading it as I'm discussing it.
All right.
So there is a new DNA app. It's called Theramore, and you swab. It's like 21 and me or whatever. 21 and it's how I became a Yakit.
Right.
Okay. You swab your DNA in your mouth,
Right.
and you submit it to them,
Right.
and they will then look at other people's biology, and they claim that based on your DNA, they can match people properly together.
What?
You simply swab your cheek with a Q-tip, and voila, Theramore's app will populate with a cadre of genetically optimized potentials, Mr. or Mrs. Rights. It's the new 21st century dating app. We use your attraction genes to determine who are attracted to and who's attracted to you, right? And this doesn't sound like this is even scientifically.
Right.
How scientific is this, right?
What's an attractive gene?
I don't know. I don't know how scientifically accurate this is going to be. I got to keep reading. Spoiler alerts. Okay, the genetic code for love is definitely not something our current understanding of the human genome or gnome has deciphered. It's not even close. Yeah, it makes no sense. How are they going to tell who is? Well, Brad, you're 1% Yakit. No. You would obviously do very well with this Indo-Chinese. How would they know this?
They're not going off of like where you come from.
I have no idea.
They're going off of your attractive gene.
Exactly.
What's your attractive gene? What is that?
That's what I'm asking.
But why is your 1% of your Yakit the most salient part of your identity?
It's overtaken me. I feel like Elizabeth Warren. I feel like Elizabeth Warren. You know, like I'm Yakit. I walk around there and tell people I'm a Yakit, because I'm 1% from 10 generations ago. I should have signed my bar exam and said I was a Yakit, like Elizabeth Warren did.
I wish that you were at least like 1% Nigerian or something,
that would be
just
great.
so I could hear you always
that
say,
would be great.
I'm Nigerian.
That would be great. I'd be like, yo, brother, what's up?
He would start saying, yeah, boy.
Yeah. So meanwhile, I'll tell you what Theramore does. Okay. Theramore says it uses both your biology and your social technology. We collect your genetic data through a Q-tip-like cheek swab and acquire your likes, dislikes, and interests from your social media. It's basically they look at your social media. I'm reading this, and then it's some BS that your biology.
What?
I wouldn't pay $10 for this, let alone
so
16
you have to pay?
Yeah, I wouldn't pay $1 for it. So meanwhile, more importantly, Yonathan Yo-Yo, there's new emojis that came out.
New emojis?
New emojis are coming out for 2019.
That's exciting.
Actually, 230 new emojis are being released for 2019. It's being released by the Unicode Consortium, the organization that is the one who agrees which emoji should come out.
Okay.
Now, if you remember the Unicode Consortium, they took out the gun emoji and replaced it with the water gun, with the water pistol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the green one.
Right. But now this is something that everybody has been waiting for. This is going to be the number one, guarantee you, the number one emoji moving forward. It's a satisfying emoji, Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. It's a very satisfying one.
Okay.
It is the tiny penis emoji. Yes, a hand gesture. Yes, the hand gesture that suggests that someone has a tiny penis is now one of 230 new emojis released for 2019, delighting social media users of all likes and kinds.
I can't.
Right, as Kath Barbadero mentioned on Twitter, finally a small dick emoji. I've been waiting for this. Anthony Leslie added tiny eggplant emoji. And a number of new emojis in the batch address people with disabilities, including several of men and women in wheelchairs, a hearing aid, a guide dog, sign language, But Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, I am still waiting. They have not come out with this emoji yet.
What is that?
What is that?
You never saw the Larry David?
No.
You never saw that?
But whatever you're doing, I'm sure we don't want you to be doing it.
A wide pelvis.
Oh no! See, I was right.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna approve.
You don't think they would approve the wide pelvis emoji?
I do feel like this is a little discriminatory though to get on my millennial high horse because they released this. But they didn't release like this. Like, where's the representation?
No.
Yes, queen.
That's right.
The eggplant.
The eggplant.
That's true.
They're gonna have the eggplant up, sliced alone. I wonder if that. It's gonna. I wonder if Stormy Daniels is going to use that emoji to describe the orange guy in the White House.
I have a feeling that's the only thing she's going to start tweeting for the next 3 weeks.
Exactly. So, meanwhile, Alexa and Google, this is going to be good for all of us here, all three of us at this table.
Alexa,
Alexa and Google, they now has the capacity to predict if a couple is struggling. And can interrupt arguments.
The
virtual assistant Alexa now has the capacity, as of 2019, to analyze how happy and healthy a couple's relationship is. In-home listening device will soon judge how functional relationships are, as well as interrupt an argument with an idea for how to resolve it.
What?
Yes, the technology would reach a verdict through acoustic analysis of communication between couples. So basically, as couples' voices start raising, it would start recognizing that maybe there's a fight.
Oh my God.
Research suggests that men tend to prioritize report talk, analyzing issues, solving problems in a direct and factual way. But there are many instances where this is useful in everyday life. But in relationships, it can result in not communicating in a way that builds on strengths and it ends up in arguments. It would be very, very good. I think that would be excellent.
I don't know.
How does Alexa sound? Belgium Kim?
Well, I have my Google set to a really nice,
really
nice Australian.
I don't know. I can't do voices.
Belgium Kim.
Yeah, Belgium Kim.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, Belgium Kim. Maybe
calm
down and stop throwing the whiskey glasses at your boyfriend.
He probably deserved it.
Yeah.
That part.
Right, and then all of a sudden Alexa starts getting beat up. Right?
Yeah, I'd be like, stay out of this, Google.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Alexa starts playing like some Sade music or something.
Why is Google getting involved in my arguments?
It could actually help. I mean, if she calms you down, starts playing some smooth jams, you know what I mean? And then, Alexa's usually connected to lighting and all that.
That's true.
So.
She takes the lighting down and goes, let's have some perspective here.
Okay, so meanwhile now in Kuwait, they have just beat the record for the world's shortest marriage. It is most people believe now that this is the world record for the shortest marriage ever.
Okay.
In Kuwait.
In Kuwait, a couple divorced after 3 minutes when the Kuwaiti bride tripped at the end of the ceremony, and the husband called her stupid, prompting the bride to have the marriage annulled immediately. The Kuwaiti couple got divorced just after 3 minutes of marriage. After the bride tripped at this ceremony, the marriage is believed the shortest ever in the history of the world, I think. According to Q8 News, they had just signed their marriage contract in front of a judge when the bride accidentally tripped on her way out. After being ridiculed, the woman flew into a rage, demanded the judge dissolve their marriage then and there. They had been married for only 3 minutes.
Yes, queen. That's
the
right.
It provoked a wave of sympathy for the woman on social media. If this is how he's going to act right at the beginning, it's better to leave him. No guess.
No, fool. Didn't y'all date?
Did you see this beforehand?
Right.
She was right.
No, that was dumb.
She made the right call. She made the right. You're gonna call me
you
wedding.
Waste all that time, that money for the wedding,
exactly. And you're gonna spend all that time and money, and you're gonna call me stupid at our ceremony? Nope.
You should know this ahead of time.
Nope.
You should know this ahead of time.
Right.
Meanwhile, here's some good news for people who are going on first dates tonight. 59% of first daters think it's okay to have sex on the first date.
59?
59%. The study found that German men and Canadian women are the most open-minded about having sex on the first date. Around half of Canadian, American, and British females are also open to having sex on the first date. Men are more relaxed about the idea. Surprise, surprise.
That's
73% of British men, 64% of
73?
American men
Damn.
like the idea of ditching the 3-date rule.
Wow.
Or the 3-month rule.
That's so...
Or the
3-month rule?
Or I'll save myself to marriage rule. Or maybe on our 5th anniversary we'll get in the missionary position rule.
Brad, you've got to find yourself some new girls.
I gotta find some new girls.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think,
5th anniversary
Yonathan?
rule?
You think that's a good? You think this is a good study? Is this? You think 50? They say you live in America right now, Yonathan, and they say 59% of. What is that word? Yes, 64% of American men say it's all right. And 36% say no, it's not right to have sex on the first date.
I feel like, you do what you want to do. It goes all in vibes. If you feel like this is a good person and you feel like you would actually want to see them after y'all have sex, then have sex. I don't feel like you should have to go through any rule. Everybody's different. So I'm here for it.
Wow, Rajay just said sex on the first date is necessary.
It's not
Meanwhile,
necessary.
Belgium Kim, this is shocking to me.
Okay.
43% of American women said that they would. What? Did you just slurp a whole thing of coffee? It sounded like you were slurping over there.
No.
Okay. But this is surprising.
Somebody's a little wet over here.
43% of American women. I thought we were talking about this, and all of a sudden I heard, what's going on over there?
Don't say it again.
Okay.
Don't say it again.
I don't even see what you did. All right, so 43%, Kim, this is surprising. 43% of American women would enjoy a night of passion without any protection.
Whoa,
So basically 4 out of 10 women want no protection.
Baby girl.
So is that
No.
so is that because the woman wants to have a child, or is it more of a situation where they just don't enjoy having a condom on?
Wait, first of all, I can't speak for all women.
Well, you
Second
can
of all,
speak
is
for
this
them. Can you speak for millennial women?
Is this for still on the first date?
This is still on the first date.
Okay. 43% of you need to change your life. Get it together. No. Always protection. Always. This has been my PSA.
Millennials, they just don't like it. It's unfortunate.
And that's fair, and I completely understand that. No one likes it, but we do it because we like life more. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's right. The more you know.
So Kim, this will be good for you. You're not 30 yet, right? Okay, but if you worked in China, Chinese companies now are giving dating leave to single female employees over the age of 30 to go find a mate and go get married. 2 companies in China are giving single female employees over the age of 30 an extra 8 days of annual dating leave to go on dates and go get married. Employees at these 2 firms, which are in Hangzhou, a city in eastern China, were said to have welcomed the move. Female employees mostly work in internal functional departments, and some are show performers. And they have less contact with the outside world, and thus we hope to give more leave to them to give more time and opportunities to be in contact with the opposite sex. What do you think of that?
My God. I'll be taking my 8 days, Brad.
You'll be taking. No, you're not 30 yet. And we're not in China.
Okay.
So that seems to be the
double
problem.
negative for you.
It's true, because we get off kind of late. Dating's hard.
Yeah. All right, so Yonathan, here's a new career for you, Yonathan. If it doesn't work out for you in television and broadcasting, a 26-year-old man in the United Kingdom, of course, this always happens in the United Kingdom.
Always.
Right, because they're the horniest group of people ever.
So,
all right. Launches a business cleaning houses naked for £30 an hour and claims he's been inundated with bookings for the last 2 weeks. A young man has decided to bear all to become a naked household cleaner. His name is Daniel Aitken. He's 26. He's from Brighton, UK. He started his new enterprise just 2 weeks ago after first proposing the idea as a joke.
Sweet Lord.
The former construction worker, who also works as a professional hugger, now strips down to nothing but a pair of marigold gloves and puts some elbow grease into cleaning the home.
Oh, no.
But wait a second, but wouldn't his pubic hairs be getting all over the kitchen?
Oh, that's just Disgusting.
Right?
Ew.
I mean, isn't there a reason why people wear hairnets and stuff?
Strange,
Right?
stranger pubes.
Isn't that gross? I mean, you would be like, you'd open the refrigerator, like, all right, whose pubic hair is in here? It's gross.
That's true. And look, he's got the vacuum. He's got a lunge for stuff.
First of all, why would you think that I would do that?
Julie said something. He goes, maybe that's why we have hair in the studio. Maybe we have a naked cleaner in the studio because
It's
we have
Groundhog
hair.
Sam that
Maybe.
comes around
Although
the studio.
Carol Anderson, the tiger, just says that's how you're supposed to clean.
Really, Carol?
What?
Yeah. So Daniel.
I've been cleaning all
Daniel says, so far all my customers have ensured they are home and have tended to follow me from room to room.
Oh hell no! I know
yes.
he ain't sitting on the coffee table. What is he sitting
I think
on
it's
with his
worse.
balls?
Yes, they follow
sitting
him
on the
from
couch.
room to room to chat and clean. It's called. He says he knows how to multitask. Oh my God! I can't believe this.
You know what? Funny thing is, I guarantee you.
Yes, he's also.
If this was like a Idris Elba or somebody like that, clean and naked, none of these women on these comments would be like, "Ew, that's disgusting."
Right.
Thousands of dollars an hour.
Daniel
Okay.
is also a touch therapist, which involves cuddling strangers for up to 45 pounds per hour.
Oh, he's one of the cuddlers.
Yes. So he gives an additional service. So for 30, he'll clean, and for an extra 15, he'll hug you.
Naked?
Naked?
It doesn't say whether or not he gets aroused during the hug.
There must be some real desperate women out there in the UK. Because he is not a looker.
No, that's the thing. That's all.
It's like, what? Look at him.
I am
This is
telling
crazy.
you. I don't know honestly, if he was fully clothed, I don't know if I would want that guy in my house.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm
Shows
just
up to
thinking.
clean and you're just like, no,
I'm
thank
just
you.
like, no, thank you. Even cleaning, fully clothed, I'm not sure if you're the guy I want. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Hump Day News.
That was interessante.
That was interessante.
Yes.
All right, so we got to get to our immigration questions. We're 1 hour into our show, and this is an immigration show, and that's what we got to do. Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. So can you let everybody know to share and share alike while I stretch my quad and get ready to answer immigration questions?
You guys, you already know the drill, and you already know why, but we're going to remind you because you need to tell each and every person you know in your life about this show that's live right now. And the way that you do that on Facebook is you hit that little share button and you share it to your page, your friends' pages, and most definitely to groups that you are a member of because you never know who needs some free immigration advice. Yo-Yo, how do they do it on YouTube?
All right, you guys already know. Just copy the link, send it in the WhatsApp blast, send it a text blast. You could also send it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever, any social media. Just get the word out there, all right, guys? Let's make it a great show.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to be answering immigration questions right now. So if you call with an immigration question, we will answer it in something we call with your immigration question, and we're going to answer it.
Whoa.
Perfect, right?
Okay.
Something we call Rona from Rockville, Maryland. Rhoda.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
What's
I have
going
a
on?
question.
Yeah.
For the people who are scheduled for who have appointments for citizenship while it was the shutdown,
you should do it.
Should they still go to during the shutdown?
Yes, and there's no shutdown right now, so they should go. And even if the government shuts down again, they should go because USCIS is self-funded from the filing fees.
Oh, because I know somebody who had their appointment for one of the days that was a shutdown, but she didn't get the letter anyway, and so she didn't go. So she found out that.
Yeah, she should go. She should go and contact immigration to have it rescheduled immediately. You should always, rule of thumb, unless you know nothing good's coming out of the interview, you should always go to your interviews. Sometimes nothing good's coming out of it, then you shouldn't go. Okay, but you should always go.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Kim in Norfolk, Virginia.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm calling to find out. I had sent an email, but I guess I prefer calling to get a definite answer.
Sure.
I wanted to find out about filing, if there's any way that children can file for their parents for help with, what do you call it, citizenship. So if you have a parent that has like an health conditions, and they haven't worked in years, so they basically didn't pay any taxes at all. Is there any way, I know my brother files for her as a dependent on his income taxes. Is there any way for her to obtain citizenship?
She has a green card right now.
Yes, she does.
Okay, all right. So let me explain something to you, and it's really important. I'm glad you called. There is no requirement whatsoever to work and pay a tax return in order to become a citizen. So you don't have to work a day in your life to become a citizen of the United States. The requirements for citizenship are: you have a green card for 5 years, you have been physically in the United States for 30 out of 60 months, you have no trip more than 6 months out of the year, and you know how to read, write, and speak English. And you're a person of good moral character. So what would be a person of good moral character? A person of good moral character would be, if you did work, you paid your tax returns. A person of good moral character would be somebody who doesn't get arrested, who pays their child support. So the requirement for the tax returns for citizenship is not, I worked and here's my taxes. The requirement is, if you did work, you filed your taxes. And if you didn't work, you're still eligible to become a citizen. You just have to be prepared to show how you supported yourself without working. Because if you can't show how you supported yourself without working, the government would presume you worked and didn't pay taxes.
Okay, understand.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And so when we submit the paperwork for filing for the taxes, for the affidavit, do I need to submit the paperwork that my other sibling had filed for her taxes?
No. That would all come at the time of the interview. So your brother, she was a dependent on your brother's tax returns. So she would bring your brother's tax returns in to show she was a dependent. She would show she lives in your brother's house, whatever information she has about that, and some sort of letter from your brother saying that he supports her. And maybe bring bring the medical records to show she's ill. And I think that would be more than sufficient.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Keep up the good work. Thank you so
Kim.
much.
Okay. Let's go to Stacey in Brooklyn. Stacey.
Hello.
Hi,
Good
Stacey.
evening.
Good evening.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm not too bad.
Okay.
My question is this. I came here on a visitor's visa.
Right.
A few years back. I got married to a green card holder.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm thinking of going back home for a while to take care of some business. I wanted to know if I should go back home, does that affect my processing, my immigration processing, me coming back, my husband and children?
Okay, how long have you been in the United States now?
4 years.
Okay, so you came on a visa, you overstayed your time, you're married to a resident, and you want to leave to go home. Where are you originally from?
Jamaica.
Okay, so if you went to Jamaica, you would not be able to come back for 10 years if you left the country right now, unless you get a waiver, which is hard to get. So you would be taking a substantial risk by leaving right now.
Oh, okay.
All right. How long has your husband been a green card holder?
He'll be going in his 5th year this year.
All right. I would rather see you have your husband file for his citizenship. It'll take about a year. File your adjustment as soon as he becomes a citizen, and you can get a travel document to go back and forth to Jamaica, and then get your green card here. So if you can hold out 1 more year and change, to me, your life would be a lot better than being stuck in Jamaica for 10 years. If, on the other hand, it's an emergency and you got to go and you got no choice, well, then you got to do what you got to do. I just know from the people who always leave because of an emergency, they always, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they regret their choices in the future.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So is there a possibility that after the 10 years, if I should apply for re-entry, it will not be granted?
No, after 10 years, if you remain married to your husband and you can show it's a bona fide marriage, you will come back with a green card.
Okay. As for my 2 children, how long can they stay outside of the country?
Have they overstayed their visa?
No, they were born here.
Oh, they were born here. They can stay out for the rest of their lives. Just make sure you keep updating their U.S. passports.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Looks like she's going home.
Yeah.
Bianca in Durham, North Carolina. Bianca.
Yes. Hi.
How are you?
I'm all right. I just wanted to thank you, for being able to do this for people like me who can't afford, lawyers.
My pleasure.
But I just have a few questions. My husband was ordered deported in 2005 after he had a domestic violence charge. And he wasn't able to be deported because he has no citizenship anywhere else in the world.
I understand.
And so he had a order of supervision that he's been under since about 2007.
He goes back every year. He reports. They sign something, and he says, come back next year."
Correct. So he reports.
Right.
And we reported last year, and they said that they were trying to actively remove him again, and they asked him to, fill out forms
Get a passport.
for a travel document.
Right.
And we were supposed to go back in April, but they came and detained him out of nowhere. So they said they detained him pending an interview. And he's had the interview, and they said again that they can't issue a travel document for him.
How long has he been detained now?
He's been detained for about 2 weeks.
All right. That you should be if he has if they don't have the ability to deport him, they are holding him illegally, and all they're doing is punishing somebody for no reason, and I understand you don't have money, and I wish I could help everybody for free, and if there was a way I would be able to do it, I can't, because the government doesn't pay me money to represent anybody. So I'm a private attorney. But what you would need to do, and I would strongly urge you to watch in about 30 minutes, because we're going to have a whole segment about it with Abadir in my office, is to file what's called a habeas corpus petition. Because that's to basically bring the prisoner forward to a judge to say, you're holding my husband illegally. Other than that, they may hold him for 6 months or longer, just because they feel like it.
Okay, so when we spoke to I went and spoke to his officer, the one who was handling his case, and he said if they can't get the travel document, they will put him back into the order of supervision.
That's
but of
right,
course,
but
we don't know how long.
They're going to hold him for 6 months while they're trying to do it. And there's no reason for them to hold him because he's reported every year and they know where he lives. So all they're doing is punishing him for no reason.
So to get him out, we can file that habeas corpus.
Correct.
And who do we file that with?
A federal judge. But you need a lawyer to do it. There's no way in the world you're going to be able to do it on your own. Maybe you can find a low-cost lawyer locally where you are.
Okay.
All right, but you're not going to do it on your own, but that's what you need to do.
Okay, and also we have 5 children, so once we get him out, what can we do at that point to move forward and try to get...
I don't know, because the way to move forward again is, if it were me, is I would need to review his entire application, his entire court records, and see what we can do to try to reopen his deportation case. Domestic violence is a deportable offense, so let's see what we can do to try to reopen his case. I don't have the answer. I would have to review everything. It's like you go to a doctor and you say, "Doctor, I got cancer. How do you cure me?" And the doctor says, "Well, I got to take an X-ray, a CAT scan. I got to run blood tests and do some other diagnostic tests, and then I can tell you how to cure you."
Okay.
All right. So that, unfortunately, I don't have the answer to tell you what to do. We know we have to make a motion to reopen his case if we can. I don't know how. I don't know what argument I would make, because I would have to review all the records.
Okay.
All right.
So I would need to obtain a lawyer.
Correct.
And would it be possible to get you if I'm all the way in North Carolina?
Yes. We have clients all over the country. I'm just concerned because you said you can't afford a lawyer, so I don't want to. You can't squeeze blood from a stone. But if you can afford a lawyer, I would suggest you, at the bare minimum, have a consultation with us.
Okay.
All right. Hold on one second. Let's go to Hawa in Oklahoma City.
Hello.
How
Hi,
are you?
Brad.
How are you?
Thank you for all your help.
You're very welcome.
There's people like you in this world.
Thank you.
But, my question was, I applied for immigration. I was married to a U.S. citizen, and they denied my case, and I applied for VAWA. I think that's for being abused and stuff, but they didn't believe it was a lawful marriage, and there was not enough evidence to show that was
abuse.
Yeah, abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I did apply for asylum before, but I don't have deportation. I'm just trying to see if I can reapply for VAWA.
You can and you should. You can and you should. Just because you got denied doesn't mean you're prohibited from filing again, as long as you didn't divorce the man. And the only time you have a statute of limitations on VAWA is you can't file more than 2 years after a divorce. So that's why I always suggest to the VAWA victims, because you're a victim, not to divorce your spouse until you get approved. Because if you get denied, it gives you an opportunity to refile again. And yes, you should refile again, except you got to refile again and do something differently. Because if you do the same thing over again, I forgot who said it, but somebody who does the same thing over and over again, that's the definition of insanity. I think that was Albert Einstein said that. I believe it is. So you have to do something different. So what has to happen is you got to look at the decision, and you got to say to yourself, what was the reason that they were giving me a problem to approve this? And then say to yourself, what can I do to overcome that problem? And then submit your entire application again, plus that additional something to overcome the problem. I don't know what the problem was, so you would need to, if you want, I can review everything, but you would need to, have an appointment. So hold on one second, okay? All right. Let's go to Christine in Dallas, Texas. Christine.
Yes, hi. How are you?
Go ahead, Christine. I'm listening.
Okay, so my question is in behalf of my brother.
Mm-hmm.
He got petitioned by my sister 1997, and now they just got approved and came here last year, so it took like about 20 years.
Right.
So what happened was his three kids got overage. I was wondering if they file petition now, can the kids remain under his priority date under the SBA?
Unfortunately, they would get new priority dates. The only time you get to keep the same priority date is if you have an approval for the same person in the same category. So say, for example, you file for your brother in 2003, and you go through the entire case, and the National Visa Center writes you a letter and says time for processing, and you don't get the letter, and then eventually they just terminate the case because they didn't hear from you for years. Well, there's nothing you can do because the case was terminated. You can refile again, but because it's the same petitioner and the same beneficiary in the same category, you can request the old priority date. But once it's either a new petitioner or a different category, you can't.
Oh, okay, I got you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go to Jessica in Denver, Colorado. Jessica.
Hi. I'm glad I can have time to talk with you in online by phone. Before it's from Facebook, I talk with you, and I just want to help my friend, the same country from Indonesia, and she got banned by her ex-fiance.
So your friend in Indonesia got abandoned by her ex-fiance. Where is the ex-fiance, in Indonesia or in America?
No, American.
Okay. So now your friend came to America on a fiance visa.
Yeah,
Okay.
but first time she came is by tourist visa. She got 5 years.
Okay, and then she went home.
And then and then her boyfriend at times asked her to extension and by support by him, and then extension already finished, and she go back to Indonesia. Before she go back to Indonesia to her country, they hire a attorney to make a petition for her to come back again to United States with fiancé visa.
I understand.
The attorney may be a GS. I can say GS.
Let me ask you a
from
question.
LA.
One second. Let me ask you a question. All right. So your friend came on a tourist visa. She extended her stay. The man said, "I want to marry you. Go home." There was no reason. First of all, there was no reason to go home. They should have just got married here and adjusted their status. But okay.
Yeah.
She went.
Then,
one second. Let me just get to the bottom of this, Jessica. So she went home. She came back on a fiancé visa for purposes of marrying this man. Did they get married?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
They got married.
It also on the letters. No. And when
Jessica,
she came back here,
Jessica, let me just understand so I can help.
Okay.
Did when she came on the fiancé visa, did the man marry her?
No. When she come back here, the lawyer secretary called him, her ex-fiance. They don't forget 90 days.
Right.
Yes, I know. Okay, we married her.
Okay.
Yeah, and when the last minute, last March 30, she asked her ex-fiance, "Are you gonna marry me or not? If not."
Okay, Jessica, I can't hear every last he said, she said, because we'll go on for hours here. They did not get married. Are they in a relationship now, or are they not in a relationship now?
No.
Okay, so all right, so this is the story. This is the story. Okay? They're not in a relationship now. If you come on a fiancé visa and you don't get married, unless there was abuse. Was there physical or emotional, extreme emotional abuse? If there was, you can file a VAWA application. Otherwise, you are left to fall in love with somebody else at some point, but then you would have to do a provisional waiver, go home, and come back. You wouldn't be able to get your green card here. If they had married and he had filed the adjustment and then said, "I don't want to go further anymore, get out of the house," she can continue that case for a green card despite the fact that the marriage breaks up. But if there was no marriage, there's nothing we can do unless there was abuse.
He for the time on the May, the last the visa until May 31, he ran away from apartment, and then
Why did she run away?
Because he doesn't want. She didn't know if he doesn't want to marry her. Because
why did she? Did she run away because of abuse?
No.
Okay.
He
left.
Police.
He left.
Yeah, he left. He called police, and then the police come over.
Why did the police come? Why did the police come?
Because he said that she doesn't want to marry, and then he on the way to the immigration.
Let me ask you a question. 1 second. Where is your friend? Is this you or is this your friend?
My friend.
Okay. All right. Where is your friend now?
My still in Colorado also.
In Colorado too. Okay. So all right. So this is what I would suggest. Okay. I would suggest because you have a lot to say about this, and we're not going to get through it on our show. I just can't, go 30 minutes into it. It's not going to happen. And you have a lot to say about it. If you can help her, I will try to. We will. If anyone can help her, I think it's going to be me. So hold on 1 second. I can't promise you I can help her, but if anyone can, I think it's me. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Cherry or Seri in Atlanta, Georgia. Cherry? Seri?
Hi, Brad.
Is it Cherry or
Hi,
Seri?
Brad. Good evening. How are you doing?
How are you? What is your name? Cherry?
Carrie.
Carrie. Okay.
Terroy. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, I'm calling on behalf of my cousin. He's in Jamaica, and his wife filed for petition for him. he has his interview in November. And when he went to the embassy for his interview, he answered all the questions to everything. They told him his wife needs to come. The next time his wife is in Jamaica, he needs to bring his wife. So finally they made an appointment again. His wife finally came. They both go to the appointment. They both separate them.
Right.
For an interview.
They did a Stokes interview at the embassy. It happens.
Yes. And now they still keep his documents and everything and said
They don't believe it's a real marriage. They don't believe it's a real marriage.
They will get in touch with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, they will, so I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm
I wasn't
calling
there.
on behalf of him.
I don't know. I wasn't there. They don't believe it's a real marriage. I don't know what they asked. I don't know how they answered the question. So they
did answer the question well. I think it's just only one they get messed.
I don't. The only thing I can do at this point is contact the embassy to say, hey, I don't know what's going on. Can you tell me what's going on? So I can find out information, but I wouldn't be able to advocate because it's already been done. The interview's been done. The investigation is probably done, and they're going to make a decision one way or the other. But I can find out what's going on and speak to somebody.
Okay.
Hold on.
So while they hold on the documents, what do you think? The
answer is I don't know. I have no idea. That's why I said I don't know. I wasn't part of it, so I have no idea. I wasn't there. I wish if I had my my magic 8 ball, the magic 8 ball would tell me. But I don't have it. But the only thing I can say is if they want, because it's already been done. But if they want, I can contact the embassy, find out what's going on, and give you information so you don't have to wonder.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. All right, hold on 1 second. Let's go to Richard in Bronx, New York. Richard.
Hi, Brad. Good night.
How you doing?
Hi, Brad. Good night. Yeah, one quick question. In August of 2008, last year August, I actually renewed a work permit, and even till now I haven't received any new card. And I called today, and they said to me that it's within the processing time, but I applied in August, and it's 46 weeks, so I have to wait because it's going to be it's still going to be 6 months by the 9th of this month. So what should I do by now?
So this is your work permit or your green card you're renewing?
Work permit.
Yeah, work permits take 5-6 months. Welcome to the world of Donald Trump. That's what it is.
Yeah, but I'm just 2 days away from 6 months.
Okay, so the only thing, I don't know what you did. If it was filed properly, you should get it. Okay? After 6 months, and it's 2 more days, the only thing I can suggest you do is you've already called them. The next step would be to come to my office and we can threaten to sue them. If they don't give it to you.
Actually, I think it's filed properly because I actually filed for my son and and we actually filed for the work permit and travel document.
What I want you to do is in about 10 minutes, we're going to be talking about mandamus actions, and it's pertinent to what you're talking about. I filed something, and immigration's not doing anything. So stay tuned and watch, okay? Hold on 1 second. Let's go to Anne-Marie in the Bronx. Anne-Marie,
Hi, Brad.
how you doing?
Good. I called you yesterday about the child that her father is keeping. Don't want us to talk to each other. So I remembered you mentioned could go to a family court where she is, and
when you called me about the child and what, you're kind of muffled, so I don't hear every word you're saying.
Okay. I called about the child that her father is keeping away.
Yes, right. I told you to go to family court in Pennsylvania. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So what's going on now?
What I want to know is, given the fact that she's undocumented, if we go to court,
it's not going to affect her. They're not going to punish an undocumented child.
They're not going to deport her?
No, especially when both parents, stepfather and natural father, are citizens.
Okay.
Okay, so don't worry. Okay?
Thank you.
And if they do try to do it, and I'm your lawyer, it wouldn't happen under my watch.
Because her stepmother is threatening that
she can threaten whatever she wants. Send her back is a different story. Send her back is a different story.
No, I
Because
mean like immigration-wise.
no, the immigration won't send her back.
Okay.
Okay, they're trying to scare you. Okay.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much. Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to Elsa in Brentwood. Elsa.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's going on?
A year ago, I bring up my niece with me from Belize,
Mm-hmm.
and her father, she's 16, and her father promised to help me so I could adopt her. Now he don't want me to. Is there anything I could do different from adopt her?
How old is this niece?
She's 16.
Okay, and she lives with you now?
Yes.
Where is the mother of this child?
She's my sister. She's back home in Belize. But I bring her up because she was a very difficult child.
Okay, and the father is where? Also in Belize?
In Belize,
Okay,
yes.
so this is what you do, okay? You don't need to adopt her to help her. You need to do what's called a special immigrant juvenile petition. It's called a SIJ.
Okay.
And you go to family court, and you need the help of a lawyer. You live in Brentwood, New York. Was that Long Island?
Yes.
Okay, so we can help you. We're in New York City. We can help you do this. We do this all the time. And what we do is this, and this will be very fast, and it'll be done fast. You go into family court. You say, Judge, I got this child from Belize. I would like to become her full guardian, legal guardian. You don't need parents' permission to become somebody's legal guardian because the parents are not in America. And then you explain to the judge, Judge, this is the story of this girl in Belize. Let me tell you how she lived. Let me tell you her problems. And ever since she's been here, she's been a wonderful child. I assume that's the case. And you say to the judge, Judge, I believe based on everything I told you, it is not in this child's best interest to be returned to the parents because they either neglected the child, they abandoned the child, or they were just simply not very good parents. They injured this child. And if the judge gives what's called a special ruling, which is what you're asking for, now this child is considered an abandoned child in America. You've got full legal guardianship of this child, and as long as this child is under 18, when you do all of this, this child can apply for her green card on her own. You are still have all the rights of being a parent, but you're not her physical parent, you're her guardian. And it will be the fastest way to deal with it. Down the line, if you choose to adopt her and you want to be her parent, you can do that too, but do this first. So hold on 1 second.
Can you guys help me?
Yes, of course. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Kia in Conyers, Georgia. Kia. Kia.
Yes, Brad.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fabulous. What's going on?
I just have a question. If someone came on somebody else's passport, is there a waiver for that?
There is a waiver for that. It's a misrepresentation.
Is it hard to get?
Yes. Are they eligible to adjust? Not in Georgia, maybe in New York, unless they're 245I or married to someone in the military. But is there a pathway? Absolutely, there's a pathway. Is that pathway always successful? Absolutely not. Do you need a good lawyer? You absolutely do. Hold on 1 second, okay? Let's go to Lisa in Queens.
Hello, are you calling for Lisa?
I am calling for Lisa. Are you calling for Brad?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Hey.
Hi, so my boyfriend and I have been living together for just over a year now. He's 19 years older than me. He came into this country illegally. He has been here for 17 years. He's never been arrested. We want to get married. The problem is that even though we live together, we don't have a lot of documentation.
Well, your bigger problem is that he came without inspection more than you don't have documentation. You can always get documentation. Everybody gets junk mail. Everybody can apply for a credit card. Everybody can get a bank account. Everybody can apply for insurance. There's all sorts of things you can do, okay, to have documentation to prove you live together. That's the easy part. The harder part is he came without inspection. Where's he from?
Ecuador. He came through the border.
Okay, fine. So what would happen is this. You would you're married, you're a U.S. citizen, you file an I-130 visa petition for this man. You get it
Okay.
approved. He has no criminal record. Because
Yes, never been arrested.
Not you, him.
Yeah, he does. He has no criminal record.
He has a criminal record.
No,
Oh, okay, good.
nothing.
All right. So if he has no criminal record, you're then going to apply for what's called a provisional waiver. And that waiver waives his immigration law violation of coming across the border and living and working here illegally. You get that waiver. Now he is able to go back to Ecuador with that waiver before he even left America and just go to Ecuador, prove this is a real marriage, and come back. You have a 19-year difference. You don't have a lot of documentation. You may have to go with him to Ecuador and have an interview and prove it's a real marriage. But if it's a real marriage, those things are easy to prove. And there's a pathway
Right.
to help this man.
Okay.
Hold on.
So.
Oh, what?
Okay.
What?
In terms of having a wedding, should we have like a big wedding, a small wedding, or it doesn't really matter?
Have whatever makes you happy. You don't have to pretend something is real when it's already real. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So do what makes you happy. Hold on one second.
All right.
Let's go to Marley in Toms River, New Jersey. Marley.
Hi, Brad. Good evening. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You're doing such a good job.
Thank you.
I watch your videos.
Oh, Marley.
A good job, yeah.
Thank you. You watch my videos. I apologize. We got disconnected.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted. Sorry, I have it on speaker. I wanted to know something. I'm getting married next week, and I want to do stuff as soon as possible because that's the advice you give to you do it as soon as possible.
Correct.
I wanted to know, should my husband add me to his tax form for this year?
No, it'll be for 2019. If you're getting married, if you're getting married in 2019, he's filing his taxes for 2018, and at that time he was single, not married.
Right, but he should make sure he puts married for his
2019.
status.
No.
Right.
Because in 2018 he was single.
Oh, so he should make sure he puts single on this.
He should be single for 2018. When he does his taxes in 2019, which will be in February, March of 2020, you would file a joint tax return. And if you get married and file your papers right away, you will have a work permit and social. It will be very easy to file a joint tax return.
Okay, good. I also wanted to know, do you discuss fees over the phone?
We discuss fees over a consultation.
Okay.
Okay, so hold on one second, okay? All right. By the way, she reminded me something. Marley. Do you know whose birthday it is today?
Who's that?
Bob Marley's
Marley.
birthday.
Hey!
I forgot about that.
That's
And you know what? And I knew about it beforehand.
Yeah.
And I wanted to remind myself to talk about it.
That's right.
And then I got so excited about Hump Day News.
It's exciting.
I forgot about the legend of all legends.
Right.
And I think he would have been 64 years old
Yeah.
today.
Wow. Yeah.
That's
He died-
still young.
Yeah, he's still young. He died when he was in his 30s. What was he, 34?
34, I think.
34?
It's crazy to
Yeah.
have died that
Yeah,
young
cancer,
and
yeah.
still like
and like
being
what
a legend.
God,
he was only on this earth for 34 years, and he will be known forever.
That's crazy.
Forever.
Yeah.
So you know, that was a life well lived.
Yes, it
short life.
It was.
Yeah.
And he
But
would have been
impactful.
By the way, Jilly said 74, not 64.
Oh,
74. That makes
74.
a little bit more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So happy
Never trust
birthday to Bob Marley.
Yes.
With that said, before we get into social media check-in, which we will get into.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to get into social media check-in. I'm looking at your faces.
We can get to wherever you want to get
great
us.
Numbers right now. It's a lot of people here wanting some answers.
No, but I'm going to give some answers here because I have. I really want to show this because I told everybody.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, because I have Abadir coming in.
Yep.
And Abadir is going to be talking about, and this is really, really important, okay, about suing the government when you don't get your applications processed in a timely fashion. Everybody calls this show all the time. Why am I waiting 6 months for my work permit? Why am I waiting 12, 18 months for my green card? Why am I waiting? And you're waiting because there's an orange man in the White House who's trying to prevent people from living their lives, from getting green cards legally. He keeps talking about he wants legal immigration, and he's stopping legal immigration. He's stopping people from getting work permits and travel documents and green cards. He's just slowing the process down completely. And there's a way that you can speed it up. And it's not go call immigration and speak to someone on the phone, hi, what's going on? It's literally suing the government. You sue them to do their job. And it's so important that people know what their rights are and what they can do when applications just don't move. They don't get processed. You don't get your benefits. You don't get your green card. It's really important to watch this. Let's watch. Unifying families has always been a bedrock of immigration in the United States. The I-130 specifically is the form that you use to file for your family member, whether you're filing for your spouse, your child, your parent, your brother and sister. It always starts with the I-130. Now, there are different categories that you can file for. So, for example, if you're filing an I-130 for your spouse and you're a U.S. citizen, or you're filing for your child under the age of 21 and you're a U.S. citizen, or you're filing for your parent and you're a U.S. citizen, those categories are called immediate relatives. What that means is there's no waiting list. So as quickly as the I-130 gets approved, that's as quick as you are entitled to a green card. The problem now, ladies and gentlemen, in 2019 is we have a President, Donald Trump, who has instructed many people at the Department of Homeland Security to slow the processes down. Many people have seen that their I-130s are taking 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, and even longer to get approved. These are I-130s that generally and normally have taken at most 6 months, and they should be approved even faster than 6 months because the green card is immediately available as soon as that I-130 is approved. So in a new segment that we call Abadir Sues the Government, we've invited our fantastic immigration attorney here at Spar Bernstein, Abadir Barre, who really sues the government. That's what he does, to discuss what he does in suing the government when your I-130s are taking way too long. Abadir, thank you very much for coming on board.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Tell us what you do in your practice.
Correct. So in my practice, I do federal litigation for individuals that have had their I-130s or their visas delayed.
Are there any quotas on the number of applications that you can file for that U.S. citizens can file for their spouse, their children under 21, or their parents? Are there any quotas at all?
No, there's no quotas for immediate relatives.
So in other words, if 500,000 people who are U.S. citizens want to file for their spouse in another country or here in the United States, all 500,000 of those spouses should be able to get a green card in a relatively short period of time.
Correct.
If 1 million spouses wanted to file for their U.S. citizens wanted to file for their spouses abroad or here, should that take any longer for the government to process?
No.
If 2 million U.S. citizens wanted to file for their spouses, their children, their parents, should the government take any longer? Is there any? It should be the same time. It doesn't matter how many people apply.
Correct, yes. Because the point of the I-130 is family reunification. So these are family members, immediate family members of U.S. citizens and green card holders, right? And so they aren't, what this administration is trying to sparse out, illegal immigration and legal immigration. This is the cornerstone of our immigration law, is family reunification, and that's why there is no quotas. You can bring in as many children as you want, all your parents can come in immediately, your spouses, because these are your immediate family members, and people want to live with their family.
Now, for people who have never seen the I-130, the I-130 is a form, you fill out your name, your address, your date of birth, a lot of biographic data. And what is it that the immigration is looking at on this application? Are you a U.S. citizen? Is your spouse a foreigner? And were you free to marry each other?
Correct.
That is it.
Yes.
It shouldn't take 24 months. Shouldn't take 36 months. Shouldn't even take 12 months for them to determine you're a U.S. citizen, your spouse is a foreigner, and you are free to marry. Because that's all the I-130 is.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, and even simpler when it's an I-130 parent-child or child-to-parent.
Of course,
right?
that's even
Because
easier.
Even easier, but still, those take, they're taking tremendously long delays as well.
Just think about it. Just think about it. Okay? You're a U.S. citizen filing for your parent. How hard is it to prove this is your parent? Here's my proof of my citizenship. Here is my birth certificate, My parents' name is listed on my birth certificate. Here is my parents' birth certificate. That's their name. That's it.
Right.
How it shouldn't take 24 months to do these things.
Absolutely not. And
Now, yeah, go ahead.
And in previous administrations, it didn't. But this administration, in a way to slow down legal immigration, is delaying the I-130 process because these people are immediately eligible for a visa upon approval of the I-130.
So you think it's a deliberate process to slow down the immigration process and prevent immigrants from coming to the United States?
Absolutely. This I-130 process for immediate U.S. relatives is categorized as family reunification. And the Trump administration calls it chain migration. So they're trying to, in their mind, it's people bringing in more immigrants, but these are U.S. citizens bringing in their family. So it is purposeful and it is targeted.
You know, it's very interesting because words mean things, okay? And when you use words, it affects your thinking, your behavior, your mood, everything.
Right.
So when you say family reunification, which is what these laws are supposed to be, it conjures up in your mind warm, fuzzy feelings.
Yes.
We're putting families together.
Yes, right.
Okay?
Right.
And then when Trump uses the word chain migration, what feelings does it conjure up? It conjures up that we're bringing people in that shouldn't be here.
Right, correct.
Right?
Yes. And that's why he's trying to change the rhetoric and change the perception over a policy that's really the cornerstone of our immigration laws is family reunification. That's why it doesn't have other forms of immigration have quotas. The H-1Bs, visas, employment visas have quotas. Diversity visas have quotas because those categories are separate, different. But these are citizens. These are U.S. citizens that have family that are overseas.
That is a really fantastic point. Every employment-based application has quotas.
Correct.
Why? Because they're trying to protect the U.S. worker. They don't want to have foreigners come and take jobs away from U.S. workers. So there are quotas.
Yes.
On green cards for employees, and on temporary work visas, there's quotas. There's quotas on almost everything.
Yes.
There's even quotas on the number of people who can get a green card who are the victims of crimes.
Correct.
Okay?
Yes.
But the one place
family
where there is no quotas that the government has decided, and this is going back from 1952, these laws have been in effect for over 3, 4, maybe even 5 generations at this point, is that if you're a U.S. citizen, you're entitled to have your children reunified with them immediately.
Correct.
If you're a U.S. citizen, you're entitled to be reunified with your spouse immediately. And if you're a U.S. citizen, you're entitled to be reunified with your parent immediately. Now, on our show, we get calls every day. Why is it taking so long?
Right.
What should I do? How should I handle this? I haven't gotten my work permit in 6 months, my spouse. I filed for my spouse a year and a half ago. We're still waiting for the green card. Right. I'm still waiting for my parents from 2016. Yes. I have nobody to watch my children. They're in another country. What should I do? These are all legitimate questions that I have received on this show recently, if you watch. Now, Abadir, what I tell people is, well, you got to wait. There's nothing you can do, or you sue the government.
Yes.
And I go, oh my God, sue the government. I'm not going to sue the government. Tell us about what it is that you do, because you sue the government.
Yes.
You sue the government to do their government job, which is process an application.
Yes.
Is it a scary process? Is it a hard process? Is it something that somebody should be concerned about?
Yes.
Tell us about what somebody should do, okay, for 2 reasons.
Right.
Okay, one is they want to get their family here.
Correct.
Okay, but the biggest concern is, okay, the government's been holding my case hostage for over a year. I want to get my family here, but oh my God, if I sue them, they're going to hold my case hostage forever. Right. They're going to retaliate against me. They're never going to give my family member a green card.
Right.
Okay? Tell us about the process, and then tell us why that thinking is not correct.
Yes. So the process when somebody comes in and it's called a mandamus action when their I-130 is delayed. So I come in, we do a federal lawsuit because immigration laws is federal law, so the federal courts have jurisdiction. We take the case to federal court, and the action is called a mandamus action, which gives a federal judge the authority to mandate USCIS, the immigration office, to process that application in the amount of time, right? And so typically what happens is I'll file the lawsuit, and the government doesn't even litigate it because they don't have any leg to stand on. They have no justification to stand in front of a federal judge and explain why this I-130 is delayed a year and a half, 2 years. So instead, they quickly process it. So the opposite actually happens. People think that by suing the government, it's going to harm their case, but in fact, it puts more eyes on the case. It gets a federal judge and the Department of Justice, and then USCIS managers as far as all looking at why is this one delayed.
I think you made a really valid point. And the valid point that you made was there is no reason why this I-130 should be delayed. There's no reason why my family member, under the law, should not be reunified with me and be living with me at this moment. There is no government reason whatsoever other than Donald Trump says to slow the process down.
Right.
So when Abadir goes into federal court, it's not a huge litigation. It never ends up being a huge litigation because there's nothing to argue. There's an I-130. There's a marriage certificate, there's a divorce decree, and there's a passport that says I'm a U.S. citizen.
Right.
I was free to marry this person because I'm divorced. I'm now married to this person, she's a foreigner, or he's a foreigner. I would like to live with that person. Government, what's your excuse for not adjudicating this application over the last 24 months? Well, Your Honor, we have no excuse.
Right.
And the U.S. attorneys don't want to look like idiots.
Yes, correct.
They don't want to be yelled at by federal judges. They have much better things to do,
Right.
like prosecute Roger Stone or Michael Cohen, for that matter.
Right.
They don't care about
Yeah.
this I-130 visa petition.
Right.
So what they generally say to Abadir is, if you give us 60 days, drop the lawsuit, we'll approve everything, and
Yes.
relative will be here.
Correct.
Basically,
Yes.
is that kind
That's
of generally how it works?
essentially, that's what happens, is that the I-130 is approved very quickly after filing the lawsuit. Sometimes I don't even go to federal court. I just file the lawsuit. I just show the complaint to USCIS and say, look, if you don't move on this case, I'm going to file it in federal court, and they jump on it because, like I've said, they have no reason to delay the suit. Right? They are mandated by law to either approve or deny the suit. As soon as you give them, pay the fees, and properly file your application, they are mandated by regulation to process your application. They can't just sit on it because for no reason other than they've been, directed by memos to delay it.
So just to summarize, what the mandamus does is you're not suing the government for money. Okay, like you think of a normal lawsuit.
Yes.
Or it's not a litigation where it's a drag-out fight and you're like, oh my God, they're going to retaliate against my family.
Yes.
What you're saying to a judge is say, hey, judge, make a ruling and tell the government to approve this case or deny this case. Make a decision one way or the other, thumbs up or thumbs down, because it shouldn't take the government longer than literally 15 minutes to look at an application and determine I'm a U.S. citizen and I'm free to marry this person who's a foreigner.
Correct.
Okay, it shouldn't take more than 15 minutes, and it's taken 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, whatever it is.
Yes. It's like if you went to DMV, correct, and you applied for a license, and they just didn't move on your application for 16 months, 18 months, 2 years, you'd be livid. Because as a U.S. citizen or resident, you're entitled to getting a driver's license.
You're entitled to drive.
And they would either have to tell you, oh, we denied your license because you have a license in another state, or here's your license. But they couldn't just hold the application indefinitely and give you no reason of why holding it. That's what this is.
There's no quotas on driver's licenses.
Right.
And there are no quotas on the amount of American citizens who can file for their spouse. There are no quotas on the amount of American citizens who can file for their children under 21. There's no quotas on the amount of U.S. citizens who can file for their parents.
Right.
And when the government slows down your case, and I'm saying 6 months is too long.
Right.
But I would argue that anybody who's waiting more than 9 months should be contacting Abadir.
Definitely.
File a mandamus.
Right. Brad, I've done these so often. Before, I used to do them as one-off. So somebody would come to the office and say, I have a delay. Can you file a lawsuit for me? And I would. Right? And it would get settled out very quickly. And then I started seeing so many of these, I started putting them together on what's called a joinder. I've done joiners for I-130 delays for 50, 60 people all together, all in the same boat.
So you put 50 people in one lawsuit?
50 people in one lawsuit, and the government...
What joins them in the lawsuit? Is the fact that they just have a pending I-130?
In those joiners, what put them together were they were all from the same country, right, and they were all subject to the same delays. So that's what connected them all together, and then you'd file a lawsuit.
Have you seen that certain people from certain countries are taking longer than others?
Yes, absolutely. I've never done an I-130 delay from, let's say, a country from Belgium or Norway. Or so I've done usually
any Westernizer or
no
European countries.
No European countries. No, nothing from the West. Only.
What about Eastern European countries?
No, not really. I've seen other delays for other things, but not I-130 delays from Eastern European.
Now Islamic countries.
Definitely all the Muslim countries, all the African countries, Latin Caribbean.
All the Trump shithole countries.
Yes, all the countries that he considers
shitholes.
Yes, Caribbean countries. Yeah.
And you think this is purposely being done?
It's absolutely purposely being done.
I think so.
Yes, because the media will focus on Trump trying to stymie like illegal immigration, right? But they don't know underneath all of that, he's also taking apart legal immigration and doing a lot of things that were legal forms of immigration. I-130 being one of them, and this is extremely egregious.
So Abadir, give me an example where people have come to you. They have a case pending, an I-130 pending for their relative. That's 9 months, 12 months, an exorbitant amount of time, as a matter of fact, an unreasonable amount of time. And they come to you and they say, I just want to be reunited with my relative, my spouse, my child, my parent. The government's not acting, and it's been too long. It's over a year. I want to be with my spouse. I want to be with my wife. I want to be with my husband.
Yeah.
Tell me about successful cases so people can hear that this is not in the abstract. Yeah. This is not something that's a theory out in the world. Mm-hmm. This is real life. Every day we're doing this here in this office at Spar Bernstein.
Right. So some of the most egregious cases I've had actually were people that were filed I-130s, U.S. citizens. One particular case was a U.S. citizen. He filed I-130 for his spouse. He was from Yemen, and it was in war-torn Yemen, and she was trying to escape Yemen while the I-130 was pending. And they were delaying on the I-130. She was pregnant with his U.S. citizen son, because as you know, the son born to U.S. citizen gets derivative citizenship. I-130 was delayed so long, and she had the pregnancy and lost the baby stillborn. Filed the I-130 right after it, got pushed through, and that's what got me the most upset about it. Just seeing how the moment you file a lawsuit, how quickly they've gone ahead and approved it. We had another.
So how long was that case pending before you got involved?
It was pending like 10 months.
10 months,
10 months.
And nothing was happening.
Yeah.
And then you got involved, and how fast was it done?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And 10 months they were holding on it.
10 months doing nothing.
I have even more egregious case.
Give me another egregious one.
One case where this young girl was 12 years old, and she had left Yemen. She was in Djibouti, right? And her parents filed an I-130 for her, and they tried to say, oh, the I-130 was closed out. This and this. It was all just smoke and mirrors to try to continue the delays. We filed in
and these are countries that Trump doesn't want people from at all.
Correct.
So they will come up with every excuse in the book.
Yes.
Okay, it's like people from Pakistan. They have these excuses.
Yes.
Right. All the Middle East. All the Muslim countries.
Yes, all
the third African countries.
Yeah.
Caribbean countries.
Yes.
The South American countries.
Yes. Yeah.
The Central American countries.
Southeast Asian too.
That's right.
A lot of those are delayed. Yeah. So this one we filed a lawsuit. Brad, they didn't even bother to create another I-130 approval. The old I-130 that was denied, they scratched off and wrote approved and sent it in to us, to the federal judge. Like, that's how procedurally quick this is to determine if this person is the beneficiary, is classified as the U.S. spouse or child or parent. Just scratched it off.
Give me another example of how somebody had an I-130 delayed and you just took care of it.
Yeah. So I had another family from an individual from Africa, North Africa, and he was filing for his wife and his 2 children, and they were delayed like almost 4 years. And he had been to previous attorneys, and they didn't do anything about it. So then he finally came to me.
4 years?
Yes.
So what would the previous attorneys have done?
So the previous attorneys, generally when an I-130 is delayed, what people do is either they just do status inquiries with USCIS, asking them, hey, what's going on with the case? And then they give you a stock reply saying, your case is being processed. We'll let you know in 60 days, which they're doing nothing about it. Or you can ask like a congressman, hey, can you lean on USCIS? Ask the legislative branch to lean on the executive.
They're not doing anything. They're not responsive to congressmen.
The best is when you
go to Abadir.
Yes,
and sue the government and tell a judge to go lean. When a judge leans on immigration,
it's an order.
And so 4 years, this guy's waiting to bring his family over.
Yes.
From North Africa. They went to multiple lawyers who write status letters. They went to their congressman or congresswoman who wrote letters. Nothing's happening. They're stuck in mud. It's frustrating. It gives a lot of anxiety to the family. It's 4 wasted years that you never, ever, you don't get these years back.
You don't get these years back, yeah, exactly.
And then they come to you from the time that they retained you to the time that the government approved the case was how long?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
After 4 years.
Yes.
Well, you got 2 choices, ladies and gentlemen, when you file the I-130 and it's pending forever. You got two choices. You can go like this and sit on your hands and wait, and wait, and wait. Or you can pick up the phone, call Abadir here at Spar Bernstein, and say, Abadir, mandamus time.
Yes.
It's mandamus time.
Yes.
Okay? It's
Yes.
Abadir time.
Yes.
Okay? Or
My
you can
time
say
to
it's
get to work.
Abadir time or it's mandamus time. Because Abadir sues the government. That's
Yeah.
all he does.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Abadir.
so much.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming in. I appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Appreciate it, Brad. Yeah.
So Abadir does sue the government. It's really important. We're going to have Abadir come back week after week and talk about all the different lawsuits that he does. This was the first, the mandamus, suing the government because they're taking too long to process a case that should only take weeks or months to process. With that, we got to get right into something that we call comments. No.
Social media.
Social media
It's
check-in.
Hump Day.
And it is Hump Day on social
It's
media
Hump
check-in.
Day.
All right. So let's do it.
All right. Our first one is from Andy on YouTube. My vowel got approved about 20 months ago. After 1 year, I filed concurrently together. I filed them concurrently together with my I-485 adjustment of status and work authorization because the abuser is a U.S. citizen. I went for my I-485 interview with my lawyer, which went well, and they requested for a medical, which I sent it as soon as possible. I later got my work authorization 2 weeks ago after 1 year. When I tracked my green card on the USCIS website, it says it's transferred to another office, though I moved from where I was to another state, but my lawyer told me that at the interview that he didn't move, I guess he didn't move it. So what's going on?
Exactly what we just talked about with Abadir. Government doesn't do anything. It just sits there on your application. Nobody cares. The only thing you can do is sit on your hands and wait, write a letter, and hopefully somebody will read it, which is unlikely, but sometimes it helps, or you sue the government. That's it.
Asma would like to know, hi again, I've got a question. I'm a U.S. citizen and I filed for my 3 children. They have their American passport, but my question is, if they weren't born in the U.S., do they need some sort of national certification other than their passport?
You should get a certificate of citizenship for them. Everyone should have 2 forms of ID to show they're a citizen. I have my birth certificate that says that I'm a citizen and my U.S. passport. Belgium Kim has a certificate of citizenship and a U.S. passport. Yonathan has a birth certificate and a U.S. passport. Everyone should have 2.
All right, Fred says, I filed my I-130 for my son who's over 21 in 2012, and he was approved in 2013. However, he is in the country with someone's passport. Is there a way you can help us on what to do next?
He has a misrepresentation issue. I don't know whether he's eligible to adjust here or not if he's 245I. If not, you would have to do a provisional waiver, go home, and then file a second waiver when you go home for the misrepresentation. Is there a pathway? Yes, but he needs help.
Audrey would like to know, can I use the receipt I got from USCIS to look about my state ID?
What receipt?
That I do not know.
All right, Kavita says, hey, I filed my VAWA on October 2018. If I reconcile with my husband and he continued with my petition, will that affect me from getting my green card because I filed a VAWA?
No, people reconcile.
Carol said, hey Brad, can a permanent resident travel to their home country on an expired passport and then renew it at home before returning?
No, because the plane won't allow you on the plane without a passport unless you plan on swimming to your country.
Tony Khalil says, hi, I did my green card interview of I-485 in Newark, New Jersey 10 months ago. No decision made. What can I do?
What he filed what?
I-485, did the green card interview and I-485 in Newark 10 months ago.
Go rewind about 15 minutes and watch my interview with Abadir.
Latoya said, my friend got married to a permanent resident and she's now in the U.S. and out of status. He filed an I-130 and the case just got approved. Her husband will file for citizenship in September of this year. So should he file his taxes as single or married now?
Married.
Idri says, I've been waiting for the interview almost 2 years and still my case is pending as my lawyer said. How it works, who decides the date for interviews?
Immigration decides, and sometimes they just sit there and nobody cares. Again, rewind. People need to start filing mandamuses.
Suzia says, can my citizen father file for my son, who's 15 years old, who is in Jamaica?
No, because that would be a grandfather filing.
Okay, Pauletta says, what's the waiver for people to enter the USA who are felons or aggravated felony who has spouse and children in the USA with hardship?
It's a 601 waiver, except you wouldn't be qualified if it's a drug offense.
I know that.
Noelle said, my cousin's been petitioned by her 73-year-old green card holder mom. My cousin is over 21 and staying in the U.S. while the petition is pending. Is there anything she can file to be able to work while she's waiting?
No, she's going to be waiting a long time out of status because it's a 7 to 8 year process.
All right, Margix has a question off of one of the previous callers. How can one have no citizenship anywhere? How is that possible?
Because you were born somewhere, but wherever you were born has no records of your birth there. They have no records that you're a citizen there. So there's a lot of stateless people who can't, who the government, wherever they come from, has no record that they were born there for whatever reason.
Vanessa said, I filed my I-130 in April of 2018 and it's been 10 months since I filed. I recently upgraded my case to immediate relative last week.
Good.
When can I expect an approval?
Soon, but if you're an immediate relative and you're here in the United States, just file the adjustment with the receipt notice and your husband's naturalization. Or spouses. I don't know if that was a man or woman asking.
All right, Alicia Walker says, if you want to get your husband's last name, do you need to go to court to change your name or just use that name on your new application? I'm removing the condition.
Just use the name on the new application. Your green card will come with your husband's name on it. Then you'll go and change your social security card to your husband's name on your social security card. Then you'll take the social security card and your green card and change your driver's license or state ID. Then you'll change your passport, and guess what? Voila, you've taken his name.
Ken Kibbett says, would you consider a family lawyer that asks for $2,000 retainer fee and then another $200 an hour plus court fees and other fees liable by client reasonable? Would you consider those fees reasonable?
I think $200 an hour is very reasonable.
Plus a $2,000 retainer?
Yes.
Reasonable.
Tanya Winter says, what's the best proof for the I-130 just married for 4 months?
What's the best proof for an I-130 to prove that you're married? Bills. It's economic relationships. So it's bills, credit card bills, insurance, bank statements, tax returns, and then physically living together, pictures of you together with your friends and family, and all junk mail addressed to both you and your husband showing that you're receiving mail at the same address.
Kahinde is a U.S. citizen who's filing for his adopted father. How long is that going to take?
If in fact the marriage to your mother happened before he was 18 and you're over 21 and you're a U.S. citizen, 12 to 18 months.
All right, Jessica Leamy says, how long does it take for a stepfather who's a citizen to file for his stepkids?
12 to 18 months.
Crystal said, how long for a child over 21 being filed for by a permanent resident?
8 years.
Festive says, how long is it taking for U.S. citizens to file for a husband and a child from a different country?
12 to 18 months.
Baindu says, can green card holders file for 30-year-olds?
Yes, why not? As long as you're the mother or father. I assume that's the question.
You know? I don't know, Brad. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yes, you can file for a 30-year-old, a 35-year-old. Age doesn't matter. It's the relationship.
All right, I'm a survivor says, what type of visa is filed for on the iCert portal?
On the what?
iCert portal?
iCert.
I-C-E-R-T.
Oh, that's for an employment-based job sponsorship. EB1, it would be an EB3 or an EW or an EB2, but it would be a labor certification perm.
Michi Boo Michi says, hey Brad, I've been married in 2016, did my interview in 2017, and we were told that they were going to go ahead and approve the green card. But in 2018, they sent me a letter asking for more proof, which we sent them over 13 pieces of evidence. And I still have not received my green card. What's your suggestion?
Call Abadir in my office, call me in my office, and file a mandamus. Watch what we just talked about 15 minutes ago.
All right, Curly Girl Shauna says, how much does it cost to file a mandamus lawsuit?
Thousands of dollars, but not tens of thousands of dollars.
Mikey Starr said, hey Brad, my friend got his I-130 approved 1 month ago and he's heard nothing. What's the next step?
What got approved 1 month ago?
His I-130.
I don't know who filed for him.
We got nothing else, Brad.
Okay, if it's a parent who filed for you and you're over 21, the next step is sit on your hands and wait 7 years. If it's a spouse who filed for you and you're in the United States and you made a legal entry, why don't you file an adjustment? So, I mean, I don't know what the next step is. I don't know what's going on.
Tiffany Davis says, I have a friend who's 20 and applied for the SIJS when she was 19. She was recently graduated, or she recently granted my work permit and waiting on my green card. Do you know how the SIJS cases are currently looking?
12 to 18 months, but if you filed it after 18 to 21, it's very iffy.
Osmond said, can a U.S. citizen file for his stepbrother, and if so, how long does that take?
You can, but it's 15 years.
Pauline Williams says, during a petition, at what time do you submit your financial document?
At the time you file. So if you file your adjustment, you file with your affidavit of support 3 years, tax returns, a job letter, and a bank letter.
Pauline said during a petition
That's what I just asked.
So sorry. Lucia said, Brad, I got my work permit and want to do my driver's license, but the DMV is telling me that the work permit is still pending, so they can't issue me a driver's license. How do I move on from there?
You can't get a driver's license till you have a legal work permit. So get your legal work permit. There's no way to move on. No motor vehicles is going to give you a driver's license because out of 48 out of 50 states, because there's something called the Real ID Act, which requires a work permit or some other legal status.
She got her work permit though,
So
and when
what's
she
the
went to the DMV, they're saying we're showing that your work permit is still pending.
Then you got to go back to contact immigration to fix the computer problem.
Vita says, hi, the world thanks you for all your help.
Thank
first
you,
of all.
world.
Yes, I'm a citizen. I'm from Jamaica. My husband has a green card. I filed for my stepson, went to Jamaica for the interview with the stepson. Immigration sent this message preference, IR2, priority date, May 31st, 2016, foreign state of chargeability.
What's the question? If you're an IR2, that means you're an immediate relative. You should have gotten your green card back in 2016. We're in 2019. I don't know what's going on, but obviously there's some big issues there. How's that?
Nice.
Great.
And our final question of
Final
the night,
question of the night.
comes from Vanessa Wish, who says, I came in without inspection. Could I still file the I-485?
If you're 245I, if you're married to someone in the military or former military, if you're a VAWA case, there's lots of different ways. If not, you do a provisional waiver and go home if you qualify for that as well. Need to know a lot more. And with that, Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, a wonderful show as always. Great job to you and the crew.
Thank
I'll
you.
pat myself on
Great
the back
job
too.
to you as well.
And I'm going to ask you to read off the comments of the day while I stretch out my quad.
Your quads are having major issues today. Our first comment is from the wonderful Pathrona Collins, who said, my Brad Squad team, please don't take this show for granted. Watch, listen, and learn if you have an immigration case pending. It will help you in the future.
I like that.
Yes.
I agree, Pathrona Collins.
Yes, it will. All right, our second one comes from Don Harriet. This show makes me smile every day. It cheers me up.
Aww.
Awesome.
It cheers us up too. We got Asset Lindo in the house who said, lights, camera, Brad Show live. Come one and all. Join us for the immigration lawyer of the millennium.
Wow, not even the year anymore.
The millennium.
Wow, thank you.
You got a whole 1,000 years.
1,000
on your
years.
belt.
A whole 1,000 years.
There's nobody before and after for the next 1,000 years.
Basically.
That's saintly, you know.
It is.
I don't
It
want to
is.
call myself a saint, but I'm saying that's saintly.
Saint-like.
That's Bob Marley
Yes,
status.
yes.
There you go. All right, and our last and final comment for the day is a long one, but this one was pretty awesome. Abigail Taylor Watson, Brad, This information is so informative. I appreciate you sharing your time and knowledge with us each evening, and I pray that your practice continues to be successful. I know, I'm trying to find the rest. I know that you're taking away time each evening from your family, but you do it with a smile, and I love you for that. That is amazing.
Thank you, Abigail.
Thank you, Abigail.
And with all of that, I am going to take my smile and go see my family. See you tomorrow. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?